I forgot to turn my mic on. That would have been incredibly embarrassing if I were to go through this entire literary work and narrating it with my microphone off. That would have been embarrassing.
Goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire.
Great nut.
Great googly boner.
Great tasting nut.
This is The Stars in Blue, which is a zine thingamajig that was organized by an artist known as With Kinder Eyes, who is also a author and dev of an alternate reality game website called the Pendog Creative Library. I believe this work was made before that ARG started, but I could be mistaken. However, there is a card that has all of the information that you need, including content warnings, credits to each and every artist that had participated in this giant collaborative work, and then some. So what's this all about? I hope that it becomes very clear very soon. But for now, take your favorite seat, get your favorite snack, and listen to a little old jaunt narrated by yours truly, the dev of Battle Craze, Janice Luciani.
Narrated by our favorite Janice.
There's more than one Janice?
There could be.
Perhaps.
Perhaps we just don't know. Okay. Enough dally-dillying. This is The Stars in Blue. I need to find credits for all of these just so I can, quote-unquote, bug people on B-Sky, aka, like, look at their accounts and whatnot, because there is a lot of art in here. Okay. This is page 1! Okay. Once upon a time, there was a place where white picket fences sprung up in brutal, bloodied pikes. They skewered outsiders upon themselves and watered the 2-inch airbrush grass, which choked the roots and soil beneath countless columns of green. In this place was a little girl, a little red pinprick, barely bigger than a purse, and with a face as round as an ashtray. She was kept in this house by her mother, a woman who worked at the library, a place that Sasha had been told was stacked with books, and people eager to learn about the world and one another. And although outsiders might say, "Oh, that mother, she is such a doll," or "Oh, that mother, she helped me out at the charity run the other day," and although outsiders may say the Christmas, Easter, kick-a-can day, and holiday cards contained a family, which was the pinnacle of suburban identity with the unsaturated hue of family values, although the mother said every morning, every night, and every parting, "I love you," something was deeply wrong with them. Was it could it be? The smallest crook at the corner of the little girl's smile?
Very striking imagery from what I've seen of this.
Very much so. Or could it be that every day this child would hunt away in the dark corners of their home, sticking to the corners of the walls as if hoping to pass through them to escape? Or maybe that she hoped to fall between the microscopic gap between the floor and the wall, or the fact that she dreaded the tick-tock of 6 o'clock. We will never know. 16 years sped past in the disquieting house before the girl was abruptly spat out into the world with a hat, a coat, and a pair of her mother's heels. Her body had been dyed black and blue. Shadows stained her face. She sat on the porch, fate foreclosed upon while the coroner shuffled the shoeless shape out the door. Sasha Sasher was all alone in this world. Cold, scorched, and shivering, she began searching for someone to heal her shattered heart. Every time Sasha tried to reach out for another person in the pitch black, there was a momentary spark, a brief burst of light illuminating her dark world. The spark would glimmer and shine, stretching out slowly to wash away the grime and filth in her life. With every interaction, Sasha would grow a little calmer, a little less frenzied. For a while, she would smile more genuinely, and her shoulders would relax, inch by inch, as she devoted herself to this light she'd only known for seconds, minutes, or days. She would smother the light. Her mind would become frenzied with different thoughts of jealousy, of worry, of being unclean. So, the triangular blue woman inevitably clung to her new friend like a tick, draining their energy and demanding their eyes remain on her at all times. It was all she knew how to do. It was the truest form of human connection she had ever been taught. So when the light tried to mix and mingle with others, when it tried to relax Sasha's grip, the pitch dark would overtake her life once more. Held back for a time by midnight chats, dependency, and increasingly exaggerated displays of devotion, the darkness would rush back in as soon as she drove away the light. Then Sasha would thrash out in rage, wondering why, oh why, she had been put in this place. She would seethe and stab the ground and drive more and more lights into the distance of the dark void. Every day, more lights vanished from the space. And every time this happened, Sasha would try to mend herself, picking up the torn puzzle pieces to her identity and gluing, stapling, spearing them back into place. Every time she would become a little more twisted as the pieces filled the same empty places, but nestled in uncomfortable, painful arrangements. Each and every time she would drown a little more in the worst of herself. Her mind was clouded by resentment and self-pity. And every day Sasha would lose a little more hope for herself. This feeling built up by the second, bubbling, churning, and boiling over into her emotional walls. It ate away at her as she lost more lights, and she fled the abstract mother as she wondered why she had been left to die by those around her. One day, upon losing someone she claimed was very dear to her, Sasha could no longer take it. She screamed out for help once again, so loud and pained that her voice tore through the sheet separating space and time. Her final scream shot out into the long darkness. It rocketed across universes, rooms, and galaxies until it was grasped. Something gripped her scream within its many fingers, turning it over like a scarf, evaluating its worth. Then, after several terrible minutes, the want crossed over into Sasha's world. Who is the want? How about what? An opportunist from far beyond, branching arms and hands forming pacts with those with no one to watch their backs, preying on those whose hearts often sink, giving them hateful thoughts to think. The want now offered her a rose, and from her hurt a thought arose. You must know how to help. You traveled far to see what I was all about. The want nodded its twisted hands, stating that Sasha can make her own hurt end. If she helped it break every bond, she'd have a world where she belonged. It filled her heart with resentment. It made her seethe with rage. They left me to die, she shouted. They helped her lock the cage. Sasha became Slishy, and Sasha became Slasher, reborn anew as Slishy Slasher, tall blue woman of mangled hues, so excited to share the news. Slishy had a false epiphany, you see, of why she was oh so unhappy. Others hate the real me, she proclaimed. They don't care for my struggles. They wish I'd go away. They say, this is not my responsibility. This is how the world has to be. It is not my fault you are unhappy. Well, if they smirk and sneer and watch me die, then what I do to them is no responsibility of mine. I'm really getting into this, if you couldn't tell.
I rocks with it.
Yeah.
With the help of the want, I shall snare these threads. Lovers' friendships will meet their ends. Every person will be whisked to the sky, to the harrowing place where unity dies, spun around like kites unstrung, the sinking void of heartbreak thrums, destroying love with stained red thunder, every bond now torn asunder. Will I kill them? Will they die? No, they'll forever spin within the sky, forced to see their former friends, hopeless to ever hold their hand again. They will be robbed of hope as was I. Sneers will no longer gleam from their eyes. They will hate me when I tear love apart, but being hated is better than being forgot. Sorry, I need hot chocolate. Whew, okay. The abstract mother caught Sasha scent, a heartache delicious and tears not yet spent. From then on out, wherever she went, Slishy buckled beneath the threat of torment. The abstract mother said, "You're just like your old woman. I'm so proud of you." Every child runs for cover in the wake of abstract mother, harrowing hag from out of space, to every child a different face. Consider a child's covered wounds, clumsily stitched after years of blue, ripped open one after another, an ample meal for abstract mother, a sneering stalker, a dooming drone. All children hide when mom comes home, opening doors to children's minds, sees what makes them flinch and cry, traveling from place to place with a ravenous palate for hearts that ache. For all former child thrown out so far, she drowns their spirits in sinking tar. Hurricane, tsunami, fire, earthquake, parental power makes your tooth ache. Struggling against her grasp so narrow is to fight a tornado with bow and arrow. without pity, mercy, or love, pulled from the safety to up above, scorched by a sun with amused eyes, last shred of innocence boiled alive. Once she's finished, once she's done, the abstract mother then moves on. There are more meals within the world, she's used you up turn after turn. So the evil thing within the world leaves you for dead inside a home, a house with four walls and a fireplace, your thoughts aching to go away. Every child runs for cover in the wake of abstract mother. As much as she tried to bring about an end, so she just couldn't bring herself to follow through with her plan. Thinking of those who once offered comfort, her conviction was plunged deep under. It's not fair that I was made so mean, she shook and sobbed. I've ruined it, see? It's forever gone. I want to go back, but now I never can. I can't accept we'll never be friends again. The abstract mother drank her tears, billowing outwards with parasitic cheer. Yet, all three were taken by complete surprise when the ground split open and they fell inside. They spun around in hopes to fly, with shifting hues and jagged lines. Every person has a burden, every burden can weigh one down. Every burden needs a hand, every burden can start to drown. When it becomes too much to stay, the tears will wash you far away, below the ground, between the sky, to the land where all woes die. Land of shapes and fractals. Life was such a drawn-out hassle. Close your eyes and sink into the dirt, forgotten far beneath the earth. It's said that when a person reaches their lowest, with not a soul to catch them, when their woes weigh them down, sinking their heels into the ground, they fall through the loam, beyond the sky, out of the world, and into the land of shapes and fractals. It has always been there, as long as worry and sadness really, there since the first teardrop that rained down to the soil. Where do you think tears go? To the center of the earth, some might say. They evaporate, others will tell you. They return to the sky and fall down as rain. No, when teardrops tip, tumble, and topple down from our eyes, they splash into a river between earth and sky. They flow down deep, 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 into a yawning basin of pitchest blackest night, the basin of shapes and fractals, where all human sorrow shifts in size, where all bad memories nestle and grow. If someone is so uncared about and callously pushed aside, this place is where they'll eventually reside. Away from help and joy, and a hand to hold, a house, not a home, with pointy sides and shattered eyes, forced to dance across prickly, thorny shapes, and relive every time they've screamed and cried. For someone like Sasha, Slishy Slasher, this place calls to them their entire life. It is inevitable that they would end up here, is what some would have told her. Is what she thinks to be true. However, out of the toothless night, a pinprick of brightness flickered. It burned and fractured across the ceaseless darkness, like fractures on a pane of glass, thin lines jolting across the surface, then exploding, rebounding deeper into the atmosphere, coiling strands of stars racing across Slishy's eyes. From a chorus of twinkling lights, a zigzagged ribbon of light twirled down, almost resembling a shooting star at first. Its features became more coherent through the blinding waves of light and energy, her pointed face filled with delight and her feet creating cascades of quasars whenever they hit the floor. Her goofy cloche hat swayed back and forth like a boat. "What do you want?" Slishy spat out, instinctively, yeah, as the starborn creature leaned in curiously to get a good look at her. Oh, the creature, the star, didn't look to understand what she can mean with a question like that. "I don't want anything from you. I've been waiting to meet you my entire life, Slishy." She felt oddly at ease from that, unwillingly at ease. Her pointed shoulders softened as she lay back down into the sinking black tar. "Sorry about that. You've just met me at the end of my rope, so next person you pick out, you should probably try arriving a little earlier." Three-fingered hands zealously grasp onto the slasher's arms, lifting her up abruptly but not aggressively. "No, no, no," the star pleaded. "You have so much time ahead of you, Slishy. I checked the calendar and this is not the end of your life, Slishy. Not close or near for centuries." I should have gotten a spoon for this hot chocolate. Morning has come in a place so serene. Standing on a hill, Slishy admires the scene. Felt leaves blowing about the quilted sky. She feels strangely at ease here, she wonders why. In the distance, a quaint little town made of cotton and string. The whole world was soft. She'd never seen such a thing. The buildings, the shops, they look like pieces of art. And in the very center of town, a house shaped like a heart. Oh no, I'm gonna have a coughing fit. Okay, I'm cool.
All good?
Yeah, just some water down the wrong pipe.
Hate that one. I hate when that happens.
Okay, I'm good. A gloved yellow hand grabbed Slishy's and shook it oh so vivaciously. "I've been waiting for this moment for an eternity. I know you, but you don't know me. They call me Mr. Mrs. Slink, you see. From far away in outer space, I've traveled just to be here when you arrive in this very special place. Hee hee! You should see the look on your face." "Why am I here? Why are you being so nice to me?" the blue woman asked, confused. "Oh, Slishy, so silly. I simply couldn't wait for you to see," the yellow star said, amused. She couldn't contain her excitement and tackled Slishy into a hug. "Let's go and get you settled here. You'll be snug as a bug in a rug." My favorite kind of phrase. "Everyone here wants to meet you, to learn all about your life, to share precious moments together, to help you through moments of strife. Everyone's been so excited. Your arrival's like a dream come true. The people of Stitch and Seam have been preparing a wonderful welcome for you." Welcome to Puppet Town. She was led by the hand to that little heart-shaped house, where, to her surprise, a party did rouse. Rouse, right? Not rouse.
House, Rouse, I think you got it.
Shrug. So glad to finally meet you, they would all together say, before offering a big slice of cake. She enjoyed the sweet treat and got invited to partake in some pottery with Beau, baking with Labin, games with Pepper, and then Trishy nearly tucked her in. When day turned to night, she got the biggest surprise. The Heart House is yours brought tears of joy to her eyes. She had never been treated so kindly before. She didn't care anymore to wonder how, why, or what for. These people liked her for who she is, not for who she has been. And when that thought in her mind, Slink tucked her in. Plenty of adventures await when you awaken. Slishy could only dream of where she would be taken. The moment that Slishy woke up the next day, Doodle was at her door. Won't you come out and play? Down at the playground, the small puppet started to fret. It's unlike Doodle McNoodle to ever get upset. But their paint cans and brushes were strewn at their feet. It was seeming like their project would never be complete. Even with their long arms, they were simply too short. It was time for Doodle to look for a little support. Help you? Slishy wasn't sure. Painting was a skill she would even possess. I don't know how to paint. What if I make things a mess? A mess? Don't be silly. Mess is the best. Art that gets messy is the art best expressed. And when we're done painting, if something needs cleaning, that doesn't take away from our creation's meaning. Clothes can be washed and glitter can be swept. Each imperfection adds something special to a project. Doodle seemed so delighted, it made Slishy believe that she could. So she picked up a brush and faced the blank wood. Let your heart lead the way. Do whatever feels right. Working together, we'll finish before bedtime tonight. And so the two painted, and as they did, Slishy's fear of imperfections faded bit by bit. Oh, thank you, Miss Slishy. You've helped me so much. Slishy smiled at their words, and she couldn't help but feel touched. Together they'd make something oh so colorful, something chaotic and messy, something incredibly wonderful. I had planned to do this alone, but your help made it much better. This mural has got to be my very best one ever. It feels good to let go and get lost in the art, but doing so with a friend gives it much more heart. Slishy looked down at her dress and let out an "Oh no!" She was covered in paint from her head to her toe. But she wasn't upset that now she needed a bath. Instead, all she could do was laugh and laugh. Doodle laughed right with her, their own clothing no cleaner. Their smiles stuck with Slishy as she listened to the young creature. The paint slowly dripped off as it formed a rainbowy puddle. Doodle packed up their art supplies with a cheeky grin and chuckle. Don't you think that you have to always just be blue? Because every color looks happy on you. I do have to break narration because this is like the page and paragraph that kind of like hit me like a freight train the most as an artist. Like, truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah. Imperfections are what makes art wonderful.
I got marshmallow on my upper lip. Ugh.
Yeah.
She then got invited by Mayday for lunch, and while at the table they talked a whole bunch about hobbies and habits and many funny things before May suddenly asked Slishy, "Would you like to have wings?" The blue woman was a bit puzzled, honestly, but her trusted new pal, when she said, "Follow me," to a hangar they went, dark and scary at first, but when the lights were switched on, it revealed with a burst a shiny red plane with space for two. May gave a swift wink and said, "After you." I just noticed the, color blur with the propeller wings. This is really well done.
Very top-notch stuff with the art.
When the fun-filled day came to an end, Clementine invited Slishy to come watch the sunset. Over seas of yearn, the quilted sky changed its hue. Sitting and watching in awe is all they can do. Every day since arriving in Stitch and Seam, there were new things to do, pretty things to be seen. Every day, Slishy got to do something wonderful, with one of her new friends also very special. Along the way, she learned many a new thing, like how to bake a case. Slip up! Like how to bake a cake and the importance of icing. Bake my case! How precious your time is, and how to manage it well. To seek out adventure and dare to be yourself. She learned to cherish that sense of childlike wonder, to take a moment every day to find a little miracle to ponder. To surround yourself with friends and folks that make you smile. To be open about how you're feeling once in a while. That even your dreams can be an adventure-filled treasure trove. To spend plenty of time with those you love. The importance of expressing yourself creatively. And how to build a good bedtime routine. How great it can be to express yourself in many different ways, even if you're not very good at it too. And that you can do absolutely anything you set your mind to. And every day, Slishy took the time to find a cozy little nook and curl up in there with an informative book. She read all about... She read about all she ever wanted to know. Her mother never let her read much. Sad but true. So true! But now she finally felt curious again, and so gladly took the opportunity to broaden her view. Maybe you forgot the monstrous woman who feeds on others' fears. For months on end, Abstract Mother searched the world for tears. She paced back and forth with clawing hands, shapes and fractals unyielding then. She saw a beacon of rectangular light, and her heartless heart gleamed cruelly bright. So that is the place where you went, young friend? Her wounded pride began to mend. Abstract Mother said with a sway, "Just you wait, Slishy, I'm on my way." One day, Slishy fled. Her guilt and sorrow got to her. She was once again in the clutches of the Abstract Mother. Door left wide open, cotton rain blowing in. She'd never be coming back here ever again. She was far too much to handle. They'd be better off without her. She didn't deserve their kindness. She only deserved to suffer. Out in the rain she went, far away from her newfound home, to a place she deserved to be, cold, wet, and alone. For hours on end, the residents searched and searched and searched, but not a trace of their precious friend could sadly be unearthed. "Slishy, please come back to me! Why did you leave us so suddenly? You're safe with us, and we want you to be a permanent part of our community." Oh, dear reader, Hello to you. This is yet another interlude. Who am I? The abstract mother. To every child a twisted smother. I flit about from world to world, drinking the cries of those unheard. I am mean, I am rot, clouding your path with hopeless thoughts. I exist to punish beneath bloody fist those who never asked for this. Second chances? I don't believe. Your hurt and heartache are all for me. To pick apart at no expense, a smorgasbord of pain yet spent. Slishy is my favorite prey. He had the gall to run away. No worries, no haste. I'm gaining pace. She always fails to hide her face. I see all. I am the sun, the remembered fear that makes undone. Every adult who was once a child can never escape my unwanted wiles. Surrounded by friends and family? Oh, boo. I will render your relationships undone too. Sleep well, Slishy. Savor your breath. I am fast approaching to steal the rest. So much work to undo. Your new friends will witness the worst of you. After searching all night, everyone was feeling spent. But in a moment of silence, just around the bend, a little sound could be heard, a sobbing soft as can be, a shattered sort of weeping. Unmistakably, Slishy! She was sitting in a ditch, curled up into a ball, trying her best to be invisibly small. I think my mouse ran out of battery. Hold up! Hold on. Here it is! And... fuck, wrong way. No, that was the correct way. Okay, plugged, juicing up. We're all good. Where was I? She was sitting in a ditch, curled up into a ball, trying her best to be invisibly small. Slink couldn't contain himself and rushed to her side, sweeping her up into a big hug, no feelings to hide. Slishy, oh Slishy, I'm so glad you're safe and sound. The other puppets cheered with joy and gathered all around. I'm too much of a burden. I made you all search for me in the rain. I deserve to sink into the earth, never to be seen again. I had to pronounce it that way for the sake of the rhyme. Slishy shook and sobbed and covered her face away from view. If we didn't want you back again, we won't go looking for you. Are you sure you're not mad at me? Sweet heavens, no! Where'd you get that idea? They all extended their umbrellas to shield the lovers from the rain. Everyone was relieved to see their friend come home again. And yes, I will pronounce it. Again. Again. Ah, fuck. The very next day, Slink invited Slishy on a walk. They sat in the park and, over a cup of tea, had a good talk about how it's okay to not be okay, and that he'll always be there for her, no matter what she might feel or why. From now on, they're in this together. She's worthy of kindness, and she'll never be alone, now that she's calling Stitch and Seam her home. And with one big gulp, the marshmallows go down my throat like a glizzy-sucking champion. That's why I'm the goat. In the bin. A hand creeps and crawls through open windows and doors, taking things left unattended while the neighbors dance in their dreams. not a soul knowing the goal of this wandering limb. Everyone startled awake with strange noises coming from outside. The folks soon wondered where all their odds and ends went, pondering if somehow they may misplace their things, though some fear the worst that a thief may be amongst them, or even worse, a monster. Slishy takes note of their friend's concern and decides to take action to solve this perplexing mystery. She soon notices a trail of loose bits and junk leading to the far edge of the town to a small, run-down shack. Perhaps this will lead to the no-good thief who's been stealing her friends' possessions. She follows the trail right up to the door of the run-down shack. As she entered, she saw an odd figure. The figure's eye widened, and it dropped doodads and trinkets that went clang, bang, bam onto the floor as it tried to fruitlessly hide itself. Slishy marches up to the creature in the trash can. "Why have you been stealing from my friends and scaring them?" Slishy said, confronting the puppet in the bin. "I like collecting things. I guess I didn't really think about what I was taking," he replied nervously. "Sometimes I even fix them up and make something brand new. Art! But I guess I got carried away." Slishy was perplexed. "Why didn't you ask? If you led with that, I'm sure they would be happy to lend you things." The noodle creature sighed. "What's the point? Everyone thinks I'm a horrible monster. They would scream at the sight of me." The thing has almost completely disappeared within his little trash home. Slishy felt bad for him. On some level, Slishy felt bad for him. On some level, she felt he was misunderstood. So, in an act of kindness, Slishy leaned over to peer down inside and asked a simple question. "What sort of things do you like to collect?" Or, "What sort of things do you collect?" Autopilot. The creature looked back up in confusion and surprise. "Oh, all sorts of things, like thingamawhatsits, out-of-place thingies, and everything in between." "Oh? So what's the difference between a thingamawhatsit and out-of-place thingy?" she asked curiously. The creature in the bin popped out, eager to share his thoughts on Slishy's question. "Well, there's many differences. I have a whole lot of examples to share," he said as his many hands pulled out various trinkets and odd items. "The name's Labin, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Labin. I'm Slishy." They talked hours on end about the various strange things he collects. Eventually, she convinced him that he should show off this wonderful collection to the neighbors. Labin hesitantly agreed. And so, Slishy brought back her new friend and introduced him to the others. Labin was still shaking in his trash can, apprehensive to explain the reasoning for his late-night thievery. Though with some soft prompting from Slishy, all was explained. The town whispered with each other. They had always thought Labin didn't want to be part of their little community, so him not being a malicious fiend was a big surprise. "We didn't know you collect things?" someone said. "May we see it?" they all said at once. Labin looked up at Slishy with tears of joy. "May I see it?"
May we see it?
No. No, wait, the answer would be yes in this case. Yes.
Yes.
After some time and with help of their friends, Labin built his own traveling museum called Labin's Collection of Wonder. He was so happy to share his collection with everyone, and to be able to talk at length about the many different items and strange things he had. A warm feeling rose within Slishy's chest. It felt good to help Labin to overcome his shyness and help him make friends. She kept this feeling close inside. One fateful day, in Stitch and Seam, a child fell from the sky, and upon being greeted by the townsfolk, seemed upset and wondered why. Last thing they knew, they were up in their room, feeling very glum. But in the blink of an eye, they fell from the sky and landed right there on their bum. Slishy had a closer look at what seemed wrong, why the child might be feeling upset. She noticed two ribbons, very familiar to her, silky and perfectly red. These ribbons had been torn with quite a bit of force. That must have been painful to bear. She took out her trusty sewing kit and went to work mending the pair. When they were all stitched back together, the child seemed to be feeling a bit better. A beautiful quilted portal formed and took everyone by surprise. It opened up to where the child came from, right before their eyes. "Thank you, Miss Slishy," the child said with a grin, before turning to the portal and stepping in. We got another interlude, oh god! Okay. The abstract mother's fiery rays shone on the borders of this beloved world, turning them to bitter ash. The furnace in place of her heart burned bright. Her teeth gleamed like embers as she smiled down on the soft and flammable world, her eyes menacingly scanning for her favorite victim with greater cruelty than before. Yet, when Abstract Mother took one arrogant step into the land of stitch and seam, Slishy blinked once, then she blinked twice. Angry storm clouds filled her eyes. I let you control me long ago, then once again with endless woe. She grabbed the creature with a violent twist, rendering it too startled to persist. You crawled into my heart when I was weak. You convinced me there was only me. But now I know that there are others, not sister or brother, not dad and not mother. Something greater than you hope to be. You will never take it away from me. The abstract mother shrieked and fought against the power of what was once a kid. Every hateful word rendered a lie. No longer did Slishy intend to die. I will stay on living from here on out, you rotten freak, you screaming louse. You convinced me that I was tainted and unclean, that nobody would ever have me for me. Abstract Mother began to bite and bend, knowing its time drew to an end. Slishy raised the Abstract Mother to the sky, ignoring the demon's panicked eyes. I met people who wanted to help me get better, not caring if it wasn't to the letter. I met people who care as much as it seems. I learned to better myself through community. You will haunt no child ever again. I will be there, helping them to mend. Slishy flung down the monster to the earth. The abstract mother burst into pieces that drifted off. No more nightmares, no more taunts. Slishy turned around with kinder eyes, watching the clouds roll on by. It's over, Slishy cried out. It's over. I can finally sleep. In all her decades of wandering and moving place to place, feeling the burning gaze of Abstract Mother, sleep was something Slishy had nearly forgotten. Yet tonight, she dove into a sweet dreams with ease. She finally, truly at long last, felt free. The next day, she woke up refreshed and got ready without fear. The threat that's been following her since she was young, now no longer here. Slishy opened the window and breathed in the morning air. For the first time ever, her life seemed quite fair. Waking up to the promise of folks you adore, she finally had something to get out of bed for. Frost softly crunched under her boots as Slishy walked through the quiet park. It seemed the entire world was happily resting, tucked in by a soft woolen blanket of snow as each snowflake fell from the fluffy clouds above. It tumbled a unique dance of its own before coming to join at last with its friends on the ground to sparkle and shine together under the quilted sky. Slishy walked alone. She took her time, appreciating the quaint beauty of the winter around her. The trees might have lost their leaves, but now they had fresh coats of snow like a cozy winter sweater. The bubbling water of the stream now had a thick layer of ice resting atop it, yet the fish still swam underneath. And what about the brumating crocodiles? Another day, Slishy might have been scared to be all alone in this moment. She might have worried that the cold would last forever, that spring would never come. But as she made her way down the path, she knew that wasn't true. Today she knows that friends were waiting for her just a short walk away, and that soon she would be spending the day surrounded by laughter and smiles. She knew that eventually the snow would melt and the flowers would blossom once again. And as the cold snow brushes past her red cheeks, Slishy feels warm. She feels at peace. She feels loved. Slishy especially cherished the private moments in which her and her star got some time by themselves. A busy life with more friends than she'd ever had is very fun, but sometimes has her a bit overwhelmed. In moments like these, Slink would take Slishy's hand and leads her somewhere peaceful, a walk in the woods or a dinner for two, away from the hustle and bustle. One evening, they sat down for dinner. Slink had cooked a wonderful meal when she suddenly said, "Golly gee, before we start to eat, I need to tell you how I feel. We've been together for a while now, and I know that I keep telling you this, but out of all the humans I've met across my many travels, you're the one I can't stand to miss. You came here very suddenly, and after all you've been through, still managed to flourish and bloom and grow. I'm oh so proud of you. I love you very much, my Slishy, and I just wanted you to see that living with you here in Stitch and Seam has made me feel complete. I never stay one shape for long, but in this shape, though new, I find myself so happy in it just by being with you." On special nights, Slink and Slishy would take walks along the stars. They'd take their time exploring distant planets and have sleepovers on the moon. So far up in outer space, there were no people, no bugs, no cars. Just the two of them, and they'd agree, let's not go back too soon. One day, after years spent together, Slishy asked Slink a very important question while strolling along their favorite star belt. Can you guess what question that might be? They got married! Matrimony.
Woohoo!
My god, these bitches gay! Good for them! Good for them!
For real.
So she spent the rest of her days in Stitch and Seam, helping those who fell there just like her, spending time with those who cared about her, mending the ribbons she slashed, and never again did she give up on herself and others. And she was happy. No one believes me when I say, the child began with fear. Slishy leaned down in order to better hear. You are so afraid, but you don't need to be afraid alone, okay? Slishy's smile opened up, the hurting spirit of childhood lost. You are not dirty, Slishy explained. You are not trash to be thrown away. You have value. You have worth. You are meant to be on this earth. You've been trying to fix yourself all by yourself? I know the feeling. I've tried that myself. The doctor's face was full of life. We'll find you new pieces that fit just right. And that's the end! That's the end of the goddamn book!
What? Oh,
My throat is tired.
I bet.
It's a beautiful,
What did you think?
It's
very,
cute.
very nice, very beautiful story.
Yeah.
I am
It's-
glad to
it's-
have shared it with some other people that I love and cherish.
yay.
It was nice.
I really liked that.
So what was this called again? The Stars in Blue.
The Stars,
Stars in Blue.
I could give you a link.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know that some of these tabs are like down, but you still can read and download the story.
Okay.
Here,
Here. Thank you.
share with your friends. Don't be afraid to.
Yippee.
What is the farmer was replaced?
What?
I don't know. I just see that in SK's tab.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What do you mean the farmer was replaced?
Oh wait, I gotta stop recording. Oh